Welcome children, take out your geography book. Today's topic is heat balance or heat budget. Sun is the chief source of heat for our planet Earth. Most of it is received at the Earth's surface in the form of incoming shortwave solar radiation, where it is converted into the heat by the process of absorption. The Earth's atmosphere receives an average of 0.30 calories of heat per square centimeter per minute. The ground or ocean surface continually radiates this heat energy back into the atmosphere through long-wave terrestrial radiation. The balance between the amount of insolation received from the Earth and the outgoing terrestrial radiation is known as Earth's heat budget or heat balance. The incoming solar radiation or insolation absorbed directly by the Earth's land and sea surface forms the largest percentage of the total solar energy intercepted by the entire Earth's atmosphere system. Heat zones. Because of the fact that the Earth is spherical in shape, the amount of insolation received by the Earth varies. The intensity of insolation is greatest where the sun's rays strike vertically as they do at noon at the latitude equal to the sun's declination, ranging between Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere to Tropic of Capricorn in the south at the equinoxes. With diminishing angle as we go towards the poles, the same amount of solar energy spread over a greater area of Earth's surface. Hence, the poles receives the least heat per unit area. However, the distribution of insolation varies because of the spherical shape of the Earth, the inclination of the axis of the Earth, and two movements of the Earth, rotation and revolution. Therefore, because of the inclination of the axis, the poles are presented alternately to the sun during the revolution of the Earth. When the sun is directly overhead any of the tropic, remaining area towards the poles and south of it receives oblique rays of the sun. The amount of insolation diminishes towards the poles as these rays lose heat while covering a large area. Thus, the amount of insolation varies from lower to higher latitude depending on the position of the Earth in its orbit with respect to sun. On the basis of the amount of heat received, the globe has been divided into latitude zones, also called temperate zones. Thus, on the basis of the insolation received, the world has been divided into various natural regions. Equatorial zones lie astride the equator and extend up to 10 degrees north and south. Within these zones, the sun strikes vertically overhead. The area receives intense insolation while day and night are roughly of equal duration. Tropical zones astride the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn are the north tropical zones and south tropical zones respectively, spreading the latitude belt 10 degree and 25 degree north and south. These are also called torrid zones. This area receives the maximum insolation throughout the year. Thus, a marked seasonal cycle exists called summer solstice when sun is directly overhead Tropic of Cancer and winter solstice when it is overhead Tropic of Capricorn. Immediately towards the north of the tropical zones are the transitional zones called subtropical region. For convenience, these zones are here assigned the latitude belt 25 degree to 35 degree north and south. The middle latitude zones between the latitude 35 degree and 55 degree north and south represent warm temperate zones. These regions always receive oblique rays of the sun and as such are also called warm temperate and cool temperate zone. The intensity of insolation diminishes in this region and greatly affects the movements of winds, climate, vegetation and soil. Bordering the middle latitude of temperate zone towards the pole are subarctic zones 55 degree to 60 degree. North and south latitude astride the Arctic and Antarctic circle 66.5 degree north and south latitude lie the Arctic and the Antarctic zone. The latitudinal extent is specified as 60 degree to 75 degree north and south, but these limits should not be taken rigidly. The Arctic zones have an extremely large yearly variation in length of day and night. As this region receives very little insolation from the oblique rays of the sun, Another reasons for low temperature in these areas is that because of the spherical shape of the sun, the land slopes towards the poles. The polar zones in north and south are circular area between 75° latitude and poles. Here the polar regions with 6 months of day and 6 months of night are predominant. The seasonal contrast between the equatorial regions and polar regions are striking. The latitudinal zones should not be confused with temperate zones of the earth. Latitudinal zones are divided literally on the basis of latitudes on the globe, whereas the temperature zones have been created on the basis of latitudinal zones and the amount of insolation received throughout the year. This distribution of temperature based on latitudes governs the thermal environment of man. The transitional zones are necessary as they affect the climate, vegetation and soil of the region, and within the change from one zone to the other is a mixed zone covering an area having mixed properties of both the zones. For example, actually in tropical zones, latitude extends from 23.5° north and south, but while studying the climate it is extended up to 35° to 45° north and south to explain the swinging of the pressure belt. Similarly, while studying vegetation, the temperature rainforests are referred to as the latitudinal band 25° to 35° or 40° north. And with this I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.